Hey, this is Scott Helman, and you're listening to Sid Wong.
Tied up with a broken pencil. Couple next to ya. Says go get a hotel room. Guess they never felt this way.
Hey, it's Sid Wong. I'm here with two-time Juno nominee,
Bum, bum, bum.
the big shebang, Raccoon Loving.
Love. Oh, I have a tattoo.
I was just gonna talk about it later.
Where is it? Oh.
Brand new too, right?
Yeah. He's drinking wine, and he has a toque on. I love raccoons.
Did you design it?
No, a fan did.
Oh, nice.
And she sent me a photo of it, and I was just like, come over tomorrow and stick and poke me.
Was it like really last minute? You were just like, hey, let's just get a tattoo?
Yeah, I like, she's been to a bunch of shows, so I know her, and I was like out on Saturday night, and she DM'd me like a photo. She's like, I designed this for you. I was like, that is sick. Please come over tomorrow and tattoo me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even finish the intro, but Scott
Sorry.
Helman.
Hi, that's me.
I want to talk about last tour. I was going to jump back to last tour.
Okay.
You toured with Rylan James.
Yep.
At the end of the tour, you guys hopped as backup dancers for him.
Yeah, we put Hooters tank tops on. And we, oh no, we didn't do that for him. Because we were with him in a band called Featurette, so we had two openers. So and you have to prank your openers on the last day of tour. So
is that going to happen today?
I can't say.
Okay.
Have some ideas though.
Rhea hopped on stage on Halloween with bananas
She
for
did,
you
yes.
guys. So you're going to get her back, I guess, then.
Well, Rhea's a co-headliner, so you can't prank a headliner. But Jonathan, wow, you never know.
Doors wide open there.
Yeah, but we got in Hooters t-shirts for Featurette and danced, and I actually tripped over her gear and like broke her show.
Oh no.
So that was bad. She forgave me though. It was still great. They sounded fine. I just unplugged a thing they needed.
Okay.
But for Rylan James, me and the band got up during one of his songs and had shirts that said "I love Rylan James." And we're his backup singers.
That was so
Which
fun.
was great.
Yes. I want to talk about Solve the Solvable.
Okay.
What type of impact do you want to have on the youth today with that?
The youths. Hi, youths. I'm a youth of today, I think. So I think the reason why that initiative became something that I was passionate about, and I mean the entire idea was, I think, came out of the anxiety that I felt from just thinking about all the issues. And when I was starting to want to get involved with change and helping the world in a positive way, going through all the different things that you can get involved with was like almost at the end of the list. I almost just wanted to sort of give up, because it's like there's so much, and some of the things that the world is dealing with are just so massive and so almost unsolvable. And so I guess what I wanted to do is I wanted to show people that activism and positive action it doesn't have to be like that. It can be something that isn't changing the world all at once, and it can also be something that is directly in front of you, and it can be fun. So I just wanted to I also didn't really like the feeling of when a charity or an organization or any group of people sort of tried to make me passionate about something. I wanted it to be I always felt like if I should have a connection to it and I should care about it without having to sort of be like, I don't know, pitched. That always seemed ingenuine to me, because it always seemed like there was an ulterior motive there. So I kind of love the idea of giving people the ability to sort of figure it out for themselves and say like, okay, well, what's in front of you and what's immediate to you and what you're passionate about, like go and do that thing. And it's been pretty amazing, the effect that idea has had. So, on this tour, we've gone across the country. We've gone to a bunch of organizations, helped out, and had like super great mornings and days. And the really great thing that I feel awesome about is I get to show people like this. It's actually really fun to help. If you're passionate about something, you meet awesome people, and it's I don't think it's as hard as people think it is. So that was cool. I think in that way, I'd like to inspire the youths of today.
You got to go to like SPCA's. You got to go to like food drive places and stuff.
Yeah, well, we went to one food bank in Toronto, which was actually in my area, like in my near my neighborhood, which was pretty cool because I've been there for maybe half a year, so it was pretty cool to like feel connected to the neighborhood outside of like going to the local coffee shop or going to karaoke night on Saturday. Like it was like, okay, like these are people that are helping like, you know, food insecure people in my neighborhood, and like being a part of that was pretty amazing. And it was also cool because it was a super small food bank. Like it was there predominantly for that neighborhood. Like it wasn't like you could come from anywhere. It was like just for that hood. And then we went to Moisson in Montreal, which is like a food bank aggregator. So they are the ones that give the food to the food banks, and they feed like a ridiculous amount of people a year. Awesome. Like almost like I think 1/5 of the population of Montreal is using their services, which is I think I might be wrong on that stat, but it's somewhere around that ballpark, which is it's ridiculous. It's insane. And to see how like all the things that they do are based on like donations, you know, volunteer work, it's pretty incredible. Yeah. So, and it was fun. Like, I mean, and it was good to also to show people like, if you don't want to like, you know, be sort of in first contact, you don't want to like be in the room like serving people food, like you have anxiety about that, there's so many other options for you to like go work in a warehouse for half a day. Yeah. Like putting cereal in boxes and, you know, chilling with cool people. Like, why not?
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah. Scott likes helping people.
I do.
Yeah, you do. Slab City, I want to talk about that. The kind of complicated music video. That was shot so beautifully. The colors were so vibrant.
Shout out to Ben Nechtel, the director.
Awesome. What was your favorite part of getting to hang out there?
There was a lot of stuff.
Meeting other people. Like
Ben Nutty was pretty cool. He was the mayor. He took us donutting in his stolen Fed car. It was pretty wild. I'd say prom night was probably my favorite. To give people context, Slab City is a I don't even know how to explain it properly. It's a lawless anarchist community in the desert where people I would call the outcasts of America go to live a free life. And they actually call it the last free place in America because it's pretty much regulated by like community law. There's no cops. It's just be a good person or your trailer's gonna get burnt down. Pretty much. But you have to be a pretty bad person to get your trailer burnt down. But I think what that also offers a place like that is people with the desire to act freely, to express themselves freely, and the events that transpire when that is the social context of a place that you're in is pretty amazing. So there's a place called The Range there, which is basically their live music venue. And the first night we were there, and you know, we were pretty anxious, like, cause you don't know what to expect when you go to a place like that. Like you're like, it could go either way. Like this could be amazing, or they could tell us to get the hell out of here, and then we got to figure out what to do with all the money that we spent getting to California. So, you know, we went to the Range, and the first night we were there, it was prom night. So they have a prom night in the desert. They all dress up in like wacky, artsy, like weird prom outfits, and you know, we were there, and there's like dreadlocked children running around, and like, you know, 87-year-old dudes like shotgunning beers, and like it was just the craziest crowd you've ever seen. And we really wanted to introduce ourselves to everybody so that we could just like be a part of the group, and we could just have a good time and get what we needed to get filmed. And the goal of our video was really to document the people and where we were. Like we didn't want to go there like with a storyline and like just use it as a backdrop. It was really about Slab City, California. And so I went out to Builder Bill, And this dude, he owns the range. And I was like, dude, man, it's so good to meet you. Cause I'd been researching a lot. Like he was like a celebrity to me. And I'm like, dude, like, I love you, man. You're so, like, I love that you've created this space for people. Like, I'd love it if we could play for you guys. And he was like, sure, man. Like, give us an hour. And then so we just had a couple drinks and hung out. And then he got up on stage and said, this is Scott Helman and his band. And we just went up there in the middle of the desert, like powers generated by like power generators. There's there's like crazy stuff going on. Like people like breathing fire, and we got up there and we played a set, and for the rest of the time we were there, which was a week, people would walk out of the desert with like painted faces and hand us like gifts.
Aw.
Like it was just amazing. So that was probably my favorite night that I had there.
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
I'd say all around a really cool experience. And Salvation Mountain, you should check that out too if you're interested in what I'm talking about. Is a really cool thing that a guy named Leonard Knight built. Salvation Mountain, it was really cool. But I would recommend going, but just be mindful of the fact that you're entering another group of people's space, and respect their rules and their way, and you'll be good and you'll have a good time.
I think Dylan also wore a crazy dress.
Dylan wore a dress several times, so that was great too.
And Callum wore like.
But it was so interesting to me, like. I think like the way that we look at gender now is obviously, I mean, depending on where you are, is, I think we're getting a little bit more progressive about things. But I think there's still the tendency to sort of people, double check, like, oh, that's a dude in a dress. Like, it's just not a usual thing to see. But in Slab City, like no one even looked at him differently.
Awesome.
Like, he just walked and people would just be like they would just keep talking to a friend and be like, nice dress, dude. Just like, it was pretty amazing in that respect too. Like, yeah, there's so much. I could talk all day about Slab City, but
Okay.
just look it up. It's really cool.
Okay, our tech guy's gonna appreciate this, but I'm gonna
Okay.
be a little punny. It was kind of complicated getting the record label to get on the ride, filming it over in Slab City.
It was, yes, the pun master. Yeah, I mean, what you're gonna tell a record label, like, look, we're gonna take like a big chunk of your money and basically go to an like, for lack of better term, like an anarchist community in the desert and see what happens. That's pretty hard pitch.
Are they happy with how it turned out, though?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, they are.
That's good.
Well, I mean, I think it went pretty well. And it was like, I did my research. I've known about Slab City for a long time. Like because always felt like part of me, I think always felt like if this music thing didn't pan out, I'd probably like hop on a freight train and, go be that. Like, I think that's an option that everybody mulls over at some point. But there's spots, there's Salvation Mountain, there's East Jesus, which is this massive outdoor gallery. There's the range, there's like the desert. So there was obviously like, I had to be like, we can go to those places and film. But our real goal was to just basically like, try to immerse ourselves in the idea of what Slab City was and create a piece of art out of it. And I think we succeeded to a degree.
Well, you're an artist, and the whole city itself is a huge art piece.
It's basically an art project, the city. Well, yeah, it's an art project because it's like, I mean, who knows what's gonna happen? And you know what? If you told me if I had never heard of Slab City and you're like, okay, we're gonna create a lawless city in the middle of the desert. There's gonna be no rules whatsoever. Everything is gonna be regulated by like the common sense of the people, and you're free to do basically whatever you want if you're not hurting anyone. I'd be like, yeah, okay, get back to me in 5 years and let me know how that goes. But it seems to be going pretty damn well, if you ask me. So,
You are a huge fan of Friends.
massive
Yes.
Friends fan.
On May 12th, you released Hotel DeVille.
Yep.
And also on Instagram, you posted about Ross Geller
And I can tell you the exact episode that was in.
Which one is it?
I don't remember the number, but I remember it's the episode where Ross is dating the other woman that's the professor, and her boyfriend is interviewing him for so that he can do a dig, and then he said May 12th because he's asking him unreasonable questions. And he's like, what's my birthday? And Ross gets it wrong. And then he says May 12th. And that was my release day of my album. And I was like, you said it.
Was it completely intentional or was it coincidental?
100% non-intentional. I was making Katie in my apartment and I was like, had friends on in the background. I'm like, did he just say May 12th? Because like that was my release date for my record.
That's perfect.
It was awesome.
You tend to lose things. House keys. Yep. Is house key because you sing about a girl and you want her house key? Is it because you've lost yours?
That's probably a good story to tell. It's not though, but I do lose a lot of house keys. I lost so many house keys in high school that my mom once like didn't open the door.
Oh no.
Like I got home and I was like, it was 5 o'clock, like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I was at a party or something and I knocked on the door and my mom was just like, nope. Like she let me sit out there for 2 hours because no. I lost like 50 house keys. Like it was a ridiculous amount of house keys that I lost. So.
Okay.
But no, my mom's really sweet. I actually think back on that. I'm like, that was a good parenting move on her part. Sleep out with the raccoons.
You've mentioned that you are a perfectionist or occasionally struggle with self-doubt. How do you kind of overcome that when you're songwriting?
I think that at the end of the day, what the most important thing is like what you're trying to say. And I think that the content of your music should be contingent upon that. Like I really think that especially in like a world where like rationality and truth and like saying things like they actually are is declining, it seems. I think that expressing a true idea and like getting to the bottom of something is more important than like the aesthetic of what you're trying to do. That's just me. I mean, that's how I feel about my music. So I think that that's, as long as that's the most important thing on the list, all the other things, you know, I go through those self-doubt moments and I you know, struggle with like, how's it going to sound and how are people going to perceive it? But I feel like if your goal is to make a thing that expresses itself in a pure and honest way, you know, I think that you're probably good, if that makes sense. So it's, you know, it's like, yeah, I could add a cool guitar part here, or I could put a synth there, or I could, you know, maybe wear these shoes and maybe people would think I'm cooler. But if the music is honest and true and a reflection of how I feel about a thing, and not just like what I think I feel, like you sit down and you really go like, okay, what is up? Like, well, how do I feel about this particular subject matter? I think that that's my way of overcoming that self-doubt thing.
That's awesome.
Cool?
Yeah.
All that I need is confirmation by making a scene in the station. Before they call, tell the children to look away. You'll be on the train, rolling away, rolling away.
Should we do a quick game?
Sure.
Yeah. This is this or that. Think fast with Scott Helman.
Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes.
Okay.
So I can focus.
Okay. So if you finish this all in like a really quick amount of time, I will give you a prize.
Okay.
Okay. Shawn Mendes or Arcade Fire?
Arcade Fire. Sorry, Sean.
Raccoons or bungalows?
Raccoons.
Plaid pants or black jeans?
Plaid pants.
Sushi or pizza?
Sushi.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Friends or Rick and Morty?
Rick and Morty. Oh, that was so hard.
Sun or snow?
Sun.
Piano or guitar?
But also snow. I love snow. Piano right now.
Emma Watson or Callum Maudsley?
Callum Maudsley.
Awesome. Okay, so here's...
But Emma Watson.
She's
but
your,
Callum.
your best crush.
Them together would be like...
If they were in a movie together, what would the plot be?
Who... I don't know, like one person gets gum in their hair and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they would fall in love, but they would realize they were too similar for each other and they would go through this like extreme journey to find out something about themselves. I don't know. Something like that.
Okay.
Or it would just be Emma Watson slowly shaving Callum Maudsley.
That's a very descriptive movie. That'd be interesting. You should pitch that one day. So here is your prize.
Oh my God, you're the... I'm gonna wear this right now.
I saw it and I was like, this is Scott.
Off camera strip. I'm wearing this tonight with my plaid pants.
Yes. I will be at the show tonight. I will take a photo of you wearing that shirt.
Oh, you're so sweet. You're such a sweet person. Dude, you rock it, man.
I didn't know what size you were, so I just got you.
It's okay. Size, so. I'm gonna probably tuck it in. Look at this. Oh, I should say.
I know you love Joey, but it doesn't have Joey on it.
Yeah, where's Joey?
Sorry.
It's
Sorry.
Also, like, but it's because it's them in college.
Yeah. Super cool, right?
You know, because he's got the stash. Oh, I
Rachel's
love it.
nose.
Thank you.
Aww.
My new favorite shirt. All right, that day.
What the hoodie you just took off too? You designed it.
Yes.
And you also designed
rep
the banner.
the merch.
Yeah.
Buy my merch.
I also just want to mention.
My manager's like, right now. Do it. Look. Oh, ow!
Oh my God.
It's okay. Shit happens.
You're okay?
Oh, I swore.
That's okay.
I told you I wouldn't. Okay.
It's okay.
Look, it's a spaceship.
Super
Can
cute.
you see?
There you go.
There you go.
And also the banner, amazing banner too.
Okay,
The
this
tour
is getting
banner.
out of
You designed
hand.
that too.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I tore. Thanks for watching.
We're gonna wrap this up now. Yeah, were we in sync there?
I don't know.
I don't know. There you go. Scott Helman, guys.
Bye.